What's the creepiest AskReddit thread you have come across? I forget if it was this or an AMA. But there was one ugly thread where a dude explained how he used to date and rape women and everyone thanked him for being open and trying to be better, and then a psychologist stepped in to say it's more likely that this is how he relives his crimes to get off. It was so fucking creepy. The only time I decided to sort by new, I found a guy who kept asking, in different words, if other people also try to sneak in to watch their parents having sex. Edit, we don't deserve Alabama. No 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 no. You. Why? He wanted to take notes for his own future sexual experiences. Since porn is considered unrealistic, he wanted something more practical. Only makes sense to go with the two people you love and trust most in this world. Plus, he's a visual learner. I have a feeling you're the guy from the post. I'm a mod here, so I have to deal with cleaning up a lot of the bad posts, but one stands out in my memory. This was back when we allowed the text box, so the bot didn't remove posts using it right away, and someone posted something like, "Isn't this so hot?" And they linked a video in the text box. It was child porn. Hated that I clicked the link, but at least I was able to remove it and send it up to the admins to take action. Saw one last night where someone asked the Reddit community if they admired Ted Bundy, and how they would improve his work given the chance. Oh damn, I'm so glad I missed that one. I thought the world had gotten over their adoration of Ted Bundy, and now this movie is coming out, and it's all coming back, again. I remember there was a post asking people out their experiences with bedbugs. The stories in there were enough to scare me from ever sleeping on a hotel bed ever again. We just had a run-in. Pro tip, turn the heat up before moving stuff over. We moved our heavy furniture over and turned on the heat after. 2 hours later we had to go back to our old apartment and sleep on the floor because we were swarmed. My wife counted 25 bites, had been in the bed for an hour or two. We were not happy. I bet there are creepiest threads, but I'm somewhat new. In just a few days ago I saw a kid asking something like, if you did a mass shooting at your school, who would you kill first? The kid was an asshole in general judging by his post history, but that's just fucked up. I wonder how much traction that one got before it was shut down. If it was, I'm assuming it was. For what I saw, just 1 or 2 people answered, the rest told him to fuck off. I can't find it, but it asked, how do you kill a pregnant woman and get away with it? Jesus Christ. Why? Edit, I just want some peace and quiet, so please stop responding. I'm going through some tough times and need to be left alone. Yeah, right. As if a pregnant woman was any different from a standard one. The one asking for stories from rapists, where people were basically normalizing rape and even expressing sympathy for some of the rapists who responded. Edit, no, I will not send you a link to the thread. The thread should never have existed in the first place, and it was rightfully scrubbed from Reddit. Worth noting for those new to Reddit that actual psychologists were coming into the thread and screaming, do not do this. Reliving the fantasy can get rapists fired up to do it again. This thread could have violent consequences, but on it went. Edit, anyone and everyone replying to this finding ways to undermine the people who said having a rapist thread is a bad idea. Fuck you. The fuck outta here. Slurp the turds from my fart port. Some dude said how to trick a girl into having sex with you? And that's when I just gave up. Why is it never how do I improve myself as a person so I am a more desirable sexual partner? This trick girls into liking you idea some men have is both ridiculous and sad. This way it's never their fault. Something is wrong with this woman and that's why she won't sleep with me. There was one I saw a while ago where it was doctors of Reddit. What's the worst injury you've ever seen or something like that? I read a haunting story about a year-old girl who got her lips numbed at the dentist's and chewed her entire bottom lip off. She had to have multiple surgeries to correct it. Ugh. My skin is crawling just thinking about it. And that guy whose balls just fell out. Excuse me? Originally posted by user Assaulted Fish. Lots of stories, many already covered by others. I will share this particular story with my legs crossed. Motorcyclist came in after someone left-turned without checking. He had gone over the hood, slid and somehow somersaulted, landing on his ass sitting up. He slid across intersection mostly on his ass, getting serious road rash. Luckily he was only a block from hospital and ambulance. They pack him and bring him to the ER. We end up cutting off his chaps and jeans and begin the cleanup of gravel and sand embedded in his thighs and ass when all of a sudden, his testicles fall out of his scrotum. He had basically sandpapered a hole in his scrotum while skidding on his ass. The attending pauses, grabs the saline, irrigates scrotum and nuts, fondles them back into place while humming. I handed him some gauze to pack the wound and smiled at the patient who was under a local. Then I went on break, went fetal and dry heaved. I don't know where the post is, but I am sure many Redditors came across it already. It was about a mother who was pushing her baby on a swing at night. When people approached her, they found out that the baby has been dead for hours and the mother had some sort of mental breakdown or something. But what was the question asked in regard to it being an AskReddit thread? Hey Redditors, of those of you who use Reddit, do you think it's weird that I've been swinging with my dead baby for hours? This one actually has a happy ending, mostly. But the one with the dude asking for advice on how to get this girl to be friends with him again after stalking and harassing her. Can't remember exact details, but I think they were friends and he fancied her but she wasn't interested. Maybe she showed some interest in the beginning but changed her mind or something like that. He explained how she stopped answering his texts, but he continued to text her, which led to him being blocked. This didn't stop him, so she ended up having to get the authorities involved and got a restraining order against him or something like that. I think he may have also mentioned driving by her house to see if she was home. Of course everyone in the comments told him he needed to stop being a psycho. He took this advice though and got some help. He left the girl alone and found new people to have healthier friendships with. It sucks this girl had to go through this, but I'm glad he got the help he needed. It's just scary to me that there are people out there who think this normal behavior, and they think that the victim is the one who's being crazy. I'm pretty sure I remember this. Wasn't it a legal advice thread? Girl got a restraining order, and the guy actually wound up getting help and recognizing how he'd messed up. There was a post about the perfect crime, and some dude wrote an essay reply on how to get rid of a body. It was super in-depth and covered things I don't think the average person would think about. Like grinding the body up and slowly flushing it down the toilet, but make sure you take the toilet off and just send it straight down the pipe. Also he includes timelines of when things needed to be done before they started to stink, etc. Have you ever found a dead body? Or have you ever seen someone die? Threads are a mixed bag. Sometimes you think you're getting stories about the time your dog started barking at the bushes, and then suddenly you're reading memoirs of how someone and their mom were trapped in their car and one watched the other die. I am haunted by some stories in those threads. Or along the same lines, have you ever killed someone? The one where the guy was upstairs playing video games with his headphones on while some guy was downstairs raping his wife was horrifying. He finally heard something, went downstairs and saw what was happening and shot the guy. Can't find it now, but it was a thread asking for the creepiest things that have happened to people who live out a ways. The poster had let her dog out to pee or whatever, and then the dog started scratching at the door to come back in. She looked in the peephole and it ended up being a guy scratching at the door and just waiting for her to open it. Oh my god, it's the only thing from Reddit that still gives me the creeps to think about. I'm sure someone else has mentioned it already, but there was an /r/AskReddit thread years ago asking people what their deep dark secret was, and one guy admitted to murdering his teenage daughter's rapist. Pushed the guy off a roof and it was ruled a suicide if I remember correctly. I still get the chills when I think about it. I'm not saying what he did was right, but I do understand. Yeah, there weren't many people in that thread who thought he was a bad guy. Not the way to go about things, but an understandable response. I think this was on No Stupid Questions, but someone asked how many balloons it would take to lift and transport a baby multiple miles. I really hope this person wasn't planning on doing anything, but certainly creepy. I don't know dude, a baby can get heavy, especially if you carry it around all day. I'd definitely like to try this idea on a long walk. I'm searching still for a couple paranormal stories I cannot relocate, one with a guy who witnessed, with his cat, some fake creature run shrieking across his kitchen, then try to hide behind the blinds. He said it was dressed in rags, had greenish skin, and sort of thought projected to him that he shouldn't be seeing it. The other was a hiker telling about this young hot woman he met on a trail who let him off it, and then disappeared behind a tree. There was something so compelling in his story. Can't find either, don't know if my search skills suck or if Reddit's search does, or if they were deleted. Hallucinations are a real thing. I always believe someone when they say they saw something they can't explain or that shouldn't be real, but I also know that the human brain is very good at tricking itself. Think it got deleted. Can't find. This person asked how does one make homemade cyanide, and how to put it in drinks. I'm scared for people like this. I hope they get better. Some girl wrote on legal advice that someone was stalking her and it turned out the person saw the post and linked pictures of her house.